Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. I am here with a tarot snapshot to get us from 2024 to 2025. The tarot snapshot and any videos that I do associated with it are generally about 10 minutes long. A 3-card reading, first card, gives us a snapshot as to where we're at right now. Then a card that shows us our challenges, what vexes and perplexes us. The next card is the card of what heals and reveals. The solution, the hope, the optimism. So let's get to it. I'm going to shuffle 3 times. I'm going to take a look at where we're at. And when I say we, I'm getting as much value and insight from the cards as anybody who might want to watch this video. Now, I wasn't, it was interesting because I was like, should I do a forecast for 2025? Should I look forward to the year for us? And I was getting like a big strong no, don't do that. Let's take a look at where we're at, where we've come from, where we're going. And I think that the card of vexes and perplexes, the card on the left, I think that could be a really good look at our past, the past year. The card of what heals and reveals, the optimism, I think that could show us where we're going. So this can kind of be like a present, past, future sort of card reading. It could be the tarot snapshot of where we're at, what challenges us, and what can help us. So let's get right to it. And thank you for being here. The card that shows us who we are in this moment collectively. The Fool. All right. So we're about to leap off the cliff into a new year. I love that so much. I really do. There's a sense of optimism and hope here. There's a sense of like, what's the worst that can happen with this card? Let's take a leap of faith. Let's see what happens. I love that for where we're at because there's a lot of energy with New Year's Eve, whether you want to talk about, magical or spiritual, emotional, mental energy. There's a sense of New Year's resolutions, looking forward to a new year. Just collectively and energetically, there is so much power and potential and where we're at right now. We don't know where we're going to go. We don't know what's going to happen. We can hope, we can prepare, but just like the fool who has to hop off the cliff, we don't really know what we're going to encounter. Let's have faith in not only ourselves, our helping, guiding spirits, and divinity at large. All right, that's where we're at. Let's take a look at what vexes and perplexes us, and perhaps what 2024 was all about. The Devil card, fear. When we look at the adversary, we can look at fear, capital F, fear. That's what I believe the devil represents. I think there's been a lot of fear this year. A lot of fear of political outcomes, what's going to happen if a certain person becomes president or a certain political party stays in power. We can see fear, right, left, and center, especially in America. And we can also see how many of us are manipulated by fear. I look around at people all the time, and propaganda is a powerful drug because it taps into a person's fear response. You can get people to be afraid of things, you can control them. And, this is an opportunity for you to look at your own religious or political views. Are they fear-based? If they are, you're never going to end up anywhere good. So that's, what vexes and perplexes us. That's a good example of what 2024 was for us. Fear. I think a lot of us can relate to that. What heals and reveals, and perhaps what will 2025 bring us? The Six of Swords. I love this. This is a card of moving on to smoother waters. Choppy waters to smooth waters. We're moving on. Now, it's a card of the mind. Now, let's look at it from that place of what heals and reveals. I am a big believer that the mind is a tool just like a sword. If you don't know how to use a sword, but you try to, you're going to hurt yourself or other people. So there is a sense of skill and grace when it comes to the sword. There's a sense of skill and grace when it comes to the mind. When we use our mind, which is nothing but a tool for us, as that tool of skill and grace, when we use it with skill and grace, we can bring peace to ourselves. We can bring peace to our loved ones. And I see that image here This person moving their family onto smoother waters. We all have a responsibility to one another. If I am caught up in anxiety and fear and worry, and that keeps me in a state of perpetual turmoil, that suffering and that turmoil ripples out to my family. I have a responsibility to learn how to use my mind with my best intentions and ability so I don't hurt other people around me. I don't hurt myself. And oftentimes, I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm not a therapist, but oftentimes when I hear people use the word anxiety, I have to wonder, do they have anxiety or have they just not been trained in their mind and how to wield their mind successfully? I see anxiety as the person who's like taking the sword and just doing their best, and they're cutting themselves up and cutting up other people. I do know with intention, skill, grace, and training, we can bring peace to ourselves. We can bring peace, thereby, by extension, to the people around us. I think that's super, super important. I do love this overall message, though, that we're moving away from fear into calmer waters. I will leave you with this. I've learned this year that the only thing that we can do with fear is love it. A lot of us try to disassociate, compartmentalize, move away from it, stifle it down, repress it. It will pop back up. The only solution that I have found to fear is just loving it. Loving it. Love the parts of us that have fear. Love the parts of us that were scarred and traumatized. Find the peace that we can from using our mind skillfully and with grace, and loving the parts of us that fear. I will invite you to do that. How can you create a better 2025? By every time you encounter the devil or fear, you just send love to it. I can relate to that process, and I can tell you how much it's helped me in my own personal journey. So, all my love to you. Let's have a wonderful, wonderful year. And I can't wait to see you on the other side of it. Take care of yourself, and here's to a blessed and bright 2025.